going on, trading card game players? Figs here with Figs Forum, bringing you guys my local formula series number 5. So I wanted to go ahead and showcase for you guys here my formula for actually Phantom Knight Synchro. We're definitely trying to utilize some of the new Synchro cards like Assault Synchron, as well as some other older Synchron cards to go ahead and actually just, create a pretty good end board. We've got some pretty cool tools in the deck. The deck is actually only going to get better, especially with the newer support that's going to be coming out for Synchrons. The Revolution Synchron I'm excited for. I think it's going to be awesome to play in the deck. It's got some pretty cool lines. We're going to be able to abuse Ancient Fairy Dragon, as well as some other Synchro cards. But I've been having a lot of fun with this deck. It's very fun. Definitely very fun to take to local. So I hope you guys will definitely try it out. It's very consistent as well. It does play quite a few different engines, but the engine synchronized very, very well. And I'm actually brewing another opportunity in which in the next set with more of the Synchros, we're going to be using the Black Feather Dragon. It's a Blackwing monster that allows you to mill 5. So definitely stay tuned for more Synchro cards. I really enjoy Synchros. That's actually when I got into the game, was during the 5Ds era, when I started playing more competitively. So I definitely was very excited when I seen that we're getting some more Synchron cards, and the amount of Synchro support that is going to be available for the deck and accessible is definitely going to be, making the deck over the top. So this is my formula, of course, or my take of what I've been playing more recently with Phantom Knights. And again, I've been having a blast with it. So hopefully you guys do too. So I wanted to go ahead and showcase the deck for you guys here today. And then of course, we'll go ahead and go over some of the lines. I mean, there's no like crazy combo lines, very particular with the deck, I should say. It's just regular, just good old Phantom Knights with a lot of different other combo cards. So there are some pretty cool things you can do with the deck, as well as some cool little loops that you can kind of abuse every turn. So I want to, obviously showcase that, go over that with you guys. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the deck list, and we'll go over the cards and we'll go over the combos at the end here. Alrighty, so as always, we'll go ahead and get started with the Phantom Knight cards. Lineup is actually slightly different than normal, slightly different. We've got our 3 Torn Scales, our 2 Ancient Cloak, our 3 Boots, and then our 1 Gloves. And then we actually dropped Stained Greaves. Very unnecessary in the build. I wasn't finding too much success with him in here, just because, we're not really doing regular Phantom Knight stuff. We're actually looking to mostly Synchro. And you'll see once I get in the extra deck how different it is from our normal Phantom Knight builds. But I definitely do like this ratio at the moment. Then we've got our 3 Fogblade and our 1 Shade. We're still abusing Shade, of course, because he's just insane. And then, of course, Fogblade is the best Phantom Knight trap. It's our Monster Reborn, as well as our ability to stop our opponent from playing the game. So I felt like this was the perfect ratio for Phantom Knights at the moment. Like I said, could change a little bit depending, but I definitely do like that for what it is right now. Then, of course, we got our 1 Rhoda to, complement the Warriors. Then we're actually playing the Brave Engine. So we've got our 3 Right, 1 Dracoback, and 1 Faithful. Our 3 Water Enchantress, and our 1 Wandering Griffin Rider. So we are playing the Brave Engine. The Synchro engine does actually work pretty well with Brave because our numbers really align the way that we want them to. But also this gives us more access to level 3s, gives us access to actually more board breaking options, as well as another option for our end board. And this comes up quite a bit, especially when you're trying to do your normal PK stuff. You really want to have that level 3 and the extra bodies, but of course it's Brave, so it's pretty good. Then we've got our Synchro cards. So we've got our 3 Assault Synchron, our 1 Jet Synchron, and our 3 Tuning. So this is basically what we're using as our tuners. Obviously, we have the ability to search any of our tuners, and this mostly gets dumped off of one of the cards we're playing in the extra deck. But this is kind of the bread and butter that we're looking to really focus on when we use our Synchro cards, is the Assault Synchron. He does a lot, especially in this deck. He's a level 2, so it actually synergizes very well with the Phantom Knights, as well as the other cards in the deck. And then Tuning obviously lets us mill a card, so hopefully if we hit a Phantom Knight name, we're, off to the races. Then we've got our 3 Magna Hut. I always say that wrong. 1 Sornier, 1 Baldrake, 1 Druid Worm, 2 Lubellion, and 1 Regain. So it is definitely very Bestial heavy because Assault Synchron synchronizes so well with the Bestial engine. We wanted to make sure that we're utilizing as many of the Bestials as possible. Regained is obviously great in this deck because a lot of the Phantom Knight cards, they do banish for effect. So it does allow us to put some of those cards back and draw cards. So that does help us a lot. Also gives us a lot of recursion as well during our opponent's turn, being able to revive Magna Hut. Sornier is actually really good in here because we do want to see Bestial Lubellion in the grave. So that's why I'm not playing 3, because it's not a great card to actually see going second or in our opening hand, of course, because we want to be able to interact more with our opponent in regards to the actual Bestials that you can summon. But he is an important card for the deck in the way that we're doing our combos. So Sorinir kind of complements as the third Lubellium, just in terms of getting it to grave. Baldrake is just used as one of the cards for our end board, and then obviously additional interruption and additional bodies for just most of our synchro lines and most of our synchro plays. So that's it for the Bestials. And then we've got here just the regular spells that complement the deck. We got the one Foolish because it hits just about everything in the deck. 2 Talents and 3 Dark Ruler no more. So we wanted to make sure that we had some options here in being able to play, going second. I felt like these were the best cards. I really want to play Foolish Burial, or Forbidden Droplet again. But unfortunately, there is still a lot of cards that stop us from doing so. So I feel like Dark Ruler is definitely the better option, of course, when we're looking to stop our opponent from being able to stop us from playing the game going second. But yeah, Talents is really good as well, especially going first because you can always hand rip or draw cards, which is good in this deck because, of course, we're not playing a lot of the bricks. I think the only card we pretty much don't want to see on the draw is Regained and Draco back. Everything else is pretty good in terms of what we want to see for being able to make our plays. But that's it for the main deck. I think it's 45, which isn't too bad. You can definitely cut it down a little bit if you wanted to, drop some of the Bestial cards, or even drop the the Brave Engine. You could potentially do so, but I like it in there, so I think it's fine. But let's go ahead and get into the extra decks. So we've got our 1 Cherubini, our 1 Dark Charmer, and our 1 Bardiche. This is actually it for links. I know we're used to playing a lot more, but we're only really looking to just go into Bardiche, and that's it. We're trying to utilize Bardiche's ability to get free bodies, as well as being able to set up our end board. We're playing 1 Dark Charmer because we do want to have the ability to be able to use 2 of any monsters to be able to go into Dark to still make Bardiche if needed. And since we are playing a lot of Darks, especially with the Bestials and the Assault Synchron, we want to make sure that we had the option to be able to just go into Dark Charmer and then into Bardiche. So 2 different ways. Also playing into your opponent's board is great to be able to, use their monsters to make yours. Then let's get into the Synchros. We've got ourselves 1 Herald, 1 Excel Synchron, and 1 Dog Dragster. So the Herald obviously is a level 4, easy to make with the Jet Synchron as well as a level 3. Then, of course, we have the Excel Synchron. This is actually a pretty good card. If you're not familiar with what this thing does, you're actually able to pretty much use generic, use a level 3 and a level 2. So that's Assault Synchron as well as a Phantom Knight or even Water Enchantress. He dumps a Synchron monster, and then you increase or decrease the level by that monster. So you're able to either send another Assault Synchron or send a Jet Synchron, making it pretty much modulating its level according to what you have in hand. And that's actually really good. He's also a tuner, which is great. So that allows us to be able to get access to pretty much whatever line we need to based on the number of levels that we have in our extra deck or in our main deck. And then, of course, Dawn Dragster is just a great level 7. I want to have something that I can use as an end board card because a lot of times you might see a lot of Bestials. And since we're using this to dump Jet Synchron, we can always end on this with an Omni. So it's great to have access to more negates. Then we've got Borreload Savage and our Excel Stardust. So this is just another option for being able to end on something. There are some situations where you get interrupted where you can just only go into a level 8. And sometimes you may not want to go into Stardust Dragon or even going second. Sometimes we want to just go into Savage if we're not able to see a level 2 tuner. So being able to just grab the Cherubini and make Savage obviously works. And then Excel just, is Excel. Then we've got our level 10s. We've got Dispatter, Baron, and Chaos Angel. So these cards are actually pretty nuts in the deck. Getting to our 10s is actually very, very ideal for us because what we're able to do is we're actually able to loop Dispatter and Baron and be able to just kind of just combo out on our opponent and keep summoning them over and over again. And I'll show you guys what I'm referring to after. Then for the rest of our cards, we got our XYZs. So these are kind of our going second cards, I guess. We want to make sure we have access to Zeus because Dark Ruler into Zeus is just utterly insane. And then we just do whatever we want. Elevier is actually really good in this deck because you're able to banish a lot of the cards with effects, especially with the Bestials. So you're able to revive cards, bring them back. And then, of course, you can just use this to link away, like I said, with like the Dark Charmer and be able to climb and things like that. So it's pretty solid, but it is good for the recursion just because we want to be able to make sure we bring back certain cards and bringing back certain levels does make a difference. Also very great for going second. You just make these 2 with Dark Ruler and then just kill your opponent by board wiping. So that's it for the extra deck. So I wanted to go ahead and we'll go into some of the little combos that I like to do or little options that we do have just so I can showcase for you guys a little bit what the deck can do. And then, yeah, we'll see how you guys enjoy it yourselves. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and shuffle this up. Give this a real good shuffle here. And then we'll go ahead and see if we can showcase for you guys a little combo here and see if we can get something going. That way we can, I can show you guys a little bit of what the deck can do. Because like I said, it's got a lot of options, especially with the different levels and the ability to modulate as well as search. Let's see if we can get a good opening hand. And generally we want to see like one Yugioh, one Phantom Knight, and one tuning card. So let's see. Oh, that's kind of annoying, but I mean, it definitely works. So we'll go ahead and activate. We'll get a token. So let me go ahead and just grab a token here. We'll grab just a random card. And then we'll go ahead and we'll get our search on summon. So that's going to get us the Draco back. And then we'll go ahead and activate Draco back or Faithful Adventure. We'll go ahead and grab a Water Enchantress. Discard the Draco back, activate to equip onto our token. Fix this up a little bit. Then we're going to go ahead and just activate tuning. We'll get that out the way. Go ahead and get our Assault Synchron. See what we can mill here so we can hit something good. Ourselves a little cut. Oh, pretty neat. So then we'll go ahead and normal. We'll go ahead and special. We'll go ahead and special. We're going to go ahead and we'll just do our regular PK stuff. We'll grab Cherubini effect. Go ahead and send a level 3. So we'll get ourselves a cloak. And see something like this, because we didn't see a Yugioh, might be best to kind of end on Borreload Savage. But I mean, we can definitely see what options we have here. So we'll banish. Go ahead and add. So we'll get ourselves these Silent Boots. Then we're going to go ahead and trigger our Torn Scale. Then we're going to go ahead and actually banish Water Enchantress to go ahead and get it right. That way we have an extra card in hand to discard. Because we kind of want to end on double Fog Blade if we can. That's always nice. So we'll go ahead and do is, yeah, let's just go ahead and special this. And then we'll go ahead and just link these two away. Bardiche. Go ahead and activate Bardiche effect. And we're going to go ahead and get ourselves the extra body. Just because, again, we're going to be able to modulate levels and summon some extra dudes. So we'll go ahead and send Ragged Gloves. Because we might not even go for the double Fog Blade here. We'll go ahead and we'll get this activated to get it out of the way. Use his effect to send. We'll send a Fog Blade. Because it might be easier for us. Go ahead and activate Assault Synchron, take the damage. Go ahead and link these two away. Yeah, it might have been easier for that, but this works either way. Go into Excel effect. We're going to go ahead and send a level 1 because we're going to want to make him a 6. So we can do a 10. So now we have a 6 and a 4. So we can go ahead and get rid of those two. So you have different options here. We can obviously do Baron. We can do Chaos Angel. Chaos Angel is probably not the most best, but we definitely have access to just Baron because we can't do Disbatter. We have to use a dragon. So we'll go ahead and do Baron. And then we'll go ahead and we'll activate Boots effect to go ahead and grab a trap. Because we still have access to a search. Then we'll go ahead and activate Jet Synchron, discarding Fog Blade to summon. And then we can go ahead and activate Fog Blade to bring back the Ragged Gloves. And then we'll go ahead and synchro those two into Herald. So ideally we end on 3 Omnis. We've got ourselves the Herald, we've got Baron de Fleur, and we have ourselves a Griffin Rider. And I mean, we're sitting on an extra Fog Blade engraved, so there's not much you can really do about that. But if you really wanted to, you could have modulated the Excel Synchron's level so that you can synchro for an 8 and just make Savage instead if you don't want to pitch as many cards, so that you can actually keep the Fog Blades. But I mean, you end on 3 Omnis, and then you've got yourself some follow up, especially on next turn when we activate the Bardiche. Yeah, that was not too bad, especially for not seeing a Bistio here, because the Bistios actually make it really nutty. But it's cool that we have obviously access to all the Synchros. So we'll go ahead and do this one more time. We'll keep the token here in case we need it. So we'll go ahead and shuffle this up. And like I said, we have different options here, which is always nice. I mean, we could have even used, if we wanted to, the Jet Synchron with Griffin instead. Because in that way, if we end up using Baron's Negate during our turn, we can actually just use Baron to swap out the Griffin during our opponent's standby from grave, so that we have the additional Omni. But yeah, having access to triple Omni with a small floodgate where you banish stuff, it's pretty cool. All right, let's see. Hopefully we don't draw as much Brave Engine. Yeah, that one we just drew a lot of Brave. All right. So let's see, we give ourselves a cut here. 2. Let's see what we got. We'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is a little annoying. We don't have access, unfortunately, to any tuners, but we can do our normal Phantom Knight stuff. So we'll go ahead and activate right. And this one's just basically just going to be, regular Phantom Knight stuff. Obviously nothing special. So we'll go ahead and normal. Activate the ability to go ahead and grab our Draco back. Effect. Search. We'll go ahead and grab our Griffin. So we can find that here. Yeah, the good thing is the Revolution Synchron is actually a level 3. So there are little cute plays for us to be able to send it off Cherubini. Effect to equip. Activate the summon. Special. Go ahead and get rid of these 2. For Cherubini. Cherubini effect. We'll go ahead and dump our cloak. Cloak effect. We're going to go ahead and get our shade. We'll set shade and activate. Then we'll go ahead and get rid of these. Yeah, like I said, just normal Phantom Knight stuff. We have some decent interruption, which is not too bad. That's obviously on the board. We'll activate this now, just so because we're gonna end up trying to get a draw here. So effect. We're gonna have our back row completely full, but not too bad. We're gonna go ahead and dump our Ragged Gloves. So we have all our follow-up that we need. So we'll go ahead and activate the boots to add the trap to hand. And we're not even going to bring back the Torn Scale because there's no reason. We don't have anything great to bring back, unfortunately. But we're going to go ahead and activate Regained. So we'll cut this. Go ahead and put this back. Draw 1. Draw right. Then we're going to go ahead and set the Fog Blade. And there's no reason to summon the Baldric now. Just because the fact that we're going to want to draw another card off of the Regained anyways. But yeah, I mean, double Fog Blade with an Omni is pretty good. Then access to Baldric, you can always tribute this away and then bring it back once you use one of the Fog Blades. So, like I said, nothing crazy. Unfortunately, without seeing a tuner, it's kind of tough, which is why we're also playing the tuning. So, just gives us another option. We're going to try that one more time. Don't want the video to be too long, but I definitely want to see if I can showcase for you guys a hand with some more tuners, which is always nice. Especially with Lebellion. I'll definitely showcase that if I don't see it this time around. Because I think that's one of the coolest plays in this deck. I mean, you can do it with actually any Bistio combo. It doesn't even have to be with Phantom Knights, but obviously it just works. All right, we'll go ahead and give it a cut. Let's see what we got here. 1, 2, Oh, so this is actually pretty good. Unfortunately, no tuner, so there's not much that we can really do with this. But I mean, this is obviously just standard Phantom Knight stuff, unfortunately. But yeah, let's go ahead and let me show you guys what I was referring to before. We'll grab a tuning this, this, and this, because that's actually just enough for us to do what we want to do. So we'll go ahead and normal special. Go ahead and go into our Cherubini effect. We'll go ahead and send Water Enchantress effect. We'll go ahead and get us the right. We're losing a little bit more on this one, but no big deal. We'll go ahead and activate Rebellion. Rebellion will go ahead and get ourselves a copy of Magna Hut. And then we're going to go ahead and activate Tuning. Tuning is going to go ahead and get us an Assault Synchron. Then we're going to go ahead and activate Right. We'll get our token, and we'll get our Faithful Adventure. And then we're going to go ahead and activate Assault Synchron, Summon. This is going to get us a Draco back. If I can find it. Draco back. Faithful Adventure effect, search for a monster. Go ahead and grab our Wandering Griffin Rider. I think we started with one card short, right? Because we have the 2, 3, 4, yeah. So we're just going to grab a random card. I'm not even going to reveal it just to, because we only had 4 cards in hand. We're definitely going to need a card to discard off a Jet Synchron if need be. So we'll go ahead and activate this. Got our spots there. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to activate Gloves effect. Go ahead and get our cloak. And then cloak effect is going to go ahead and get the trap. Trap in this are going to go ahead and make Bardiche. Effect the Bardiche. We're going to go ahead and set a Fog Blade. And we're going to send. Honestly, it doesn't really matter too much for what we send, because we're just going to end up, we might end up banishing it anyways. So let's go ahead and, this is a random card. That's actually a Jet Synchron. We're going to need that later. So we'll just give us this, a card to discard. So yeah, so let's go ahead and we will do, what are we doing here? Oh, Magna Hut. So we're going to go ahead and activate Magna Hut. Summon effect, obviously. Go ahead and do those two. Into Excel effect, bring back. Synchro these two for Disbatter. Then we're going to go ahead and use Rebellion effect. Bring him back to Tribute. Assault Synchron effect. He's going to allow us to bring back the Disbatter. Rebellion effect. We can go ahead and actually set up a Branded Regained. So you fill up your back row pretty quickly. But we're going to end on a lot, so it's pretty cool. Disbatter effect. Can bring back Assault. And then we can use these two to go into Baron. And then we're going to go ahead and use Boots to go ahead and grab a Fog Blade. So yeah, you're pretty much ending on 2 Omnis, the Bistio Disbatter, 2 Fog Blade, and then of course you get your Search, which we're going to get Baldrake. The reason why I like playing Baldrake in here for this is because what we can do is we can summon the Baldrake, and then we can actually tribute the Disbatter, and then trigger the Assault Synchron again to bring it back after we've tributed it. And then we can also, in the next turn, bring this. So what ends up happening is after we've interrupted with our opponent, let's say, they didn't scoop, we're going back to our turn. Baron can actually bounce himself back, bringing back the Bistio Rebellion, or Bistio Magna Hut to use the effect. And let's say I had to negate something with Griffin. I can then actually go ahead and do the same thing again. So I'd bring back the Tuner. I can go ahead and go for, maybe a level 8 if we wanted to. Let's say if we didn't banish the Cherubini, we'd have access to a level 8, so we can go into, Boral Savage. And then kind of the same concept. We can go ahead and tribute this, and then go ahead and activate Assault Synchron and bring it back. So you can kind of loop it again, and then of course Disbatter, bring it back. If we make room, and then we can make the Baron again. So it's like every turn you're basically able to loop Baron, which is pretty neat. With the Assault Synchron and the Disbatter and Lubellion. But yeah, that's the deck for you guys. That's a standard end board. Like I said, you see 2 level 3s, a tuner, and any Yugioh. You can pretty much go off, and a lot of it does all the same thing. I mean, you can actually do the same stuff with the Adventure Engine, because the Griffin is a level 7 and Jet Synchron's a level 1. So if you have a level 3 and a level 2, you're able to go ahead and make the Jet Synchron, and then you're able to, or Excel Synchron, I'm sorry, to send Jet Synchron. You're able to make him, you can either boost his level to make him a level 6. So that way you can use the 6 and the 4 off of Ardish to make a 10. And then you can use the Jet Synchron and the Griffin to make a level 8 to make Excel. And then Excel gets you another level 10. So yeah, definitely have different options here. And that's why I play the Dragster as well, because of course the Bishio's being 6s and Jet Synchron, you want to have an option for something else. And again, all of these are very easy to go into. Borreload is probably the only one that's definitely a flex spot. I do like them, but obviously there is room to definitely change them out if you wanted to, because you're not playing a lot of links. And it doesn't come up very often, because sometimes you do need to banish your Cherubini for a Bistio. So that's definitely a flex spot. I think you can probably change it out. I thought about playing a level 9, because it did come up once. You could play the little crocodile dude that draws a card for every non-tuner used or something like that. But yeah, I definitely been having a lot of fun with this deck. Hope you guys check it out and definitely give it a try. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to jump into the comment section as always to see if you guys definitely can enjoy the deck as much as I have. And let me know if you guys make any changes. I mean, there's a lot of options, obviously. It's a synchro deck. There's always many, many options in a synchro deck, especially when, we're this far in the game. There's so many synchros and so many different options. But I'm very much looking forward to Revolution Synchron. That's going to be a great way to play the game, at least for Phantom Knights. And then, of course, like I said, I've got a lot of combos where I'm going to be using like Zephyros. I'm going to be using Assault Synchron to trigger Black Feather Dragon. We're going to be searching it with the Force Tricks. Like I said, I got a lot of gimmicks coming up, so hopefully you guys definitely continue to tune into my local formula series so you guys can continue to see the different formulas that I come up with. And yeah, like I said, give them a try. Let me know what you guys think. And as always, jump in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think. Like and subscribe, and continue to enjoy the content. Appreciate you guys.